Good morning, Commanders List junkies. Thank you for tuning in. Got another 9 great coins. No pontificating for me today, just coins, coins, and coins. And it's a great little varied set. Lots of price points. This is exactly the kind of Commanders List that I enjoy the most. Starting with, I haven't offered a Hawaiian cent in I don't know how long. Normally they come looking like dog meat. My very early dealer days when I was still a lieutenant in the Navy, I was pretty new to dealing. I had only been a dealer for 2 years. I was stationed in Hawaii. And let me tell you, these coins look horrible most of the time. They absolutely do. They usually come very spotted on obverse and reverse. You'll find them in holders like that. This one, so much nicer. Little hints of red. This is a very choice coin for what it is in 63 brown. If you do find them in 63 brown, even with a CAC sticker, oftentimes they are very evenly toned. You don't get any of this very nice red here. This is just a nice looking coin. So if you know this series, you know what a difficult piece this is and what you're looking at. I think you should be very excited about the possibility of grabbing it and putting it in your set. And with that said, it is $3,000. So you might say, wow, that's an awful lot for a Hawaiian cent. Well, find me a nicer one. And I'm also kind of struggling with my lighting here, aren't I? Well, we're going to have to push through today. I'm doing some experimentation, like we said. $3,000, great coin, Hawaiian large cent. All right, what do we got next? We have a very nice type coin. This one an 1880 3-cent nickel, Proof 65 CAC. This coin's clearly a cameo, by the way. 1880 is the date you can find. Lovely cam. Priced it as such. Very high end for the grade. Shot 66, I would say. $650. Very nice mirrors. No real carbon or specks that sometimes come on these things. All right. Another 3-cent, but this one, a silver piece. This is one of my favorite series. Like, every time I get one, I'm like, man, I wish I would have collected these when I was a collector. But anyway, I don't, and so I am sending it on to you. This coin is exactly what the market wants. Frosted devices, white, super frosty, old blue label holder, great eye appeal, pretty big spread, about 70% higher in the next grade. I'm asking $1,550 for this coin, worth every penny. This is this is a type coin. It really isn't that difficult, even though it's an overdate. The overdate is not super dramatic, and of course, it's that way partially because the coin's so damn small. But nonetheless, this is a great looking piece and a lot of what this market is looking for. Type is really hot right now. It's pretty nuts. Like at A&A, there was stuff, I mean, everybody was looking for type coins. All right, speaking of type coins, got another one. This one just back from CAC, a very high-end 63, old blue label holder as well. CAC approved. A little bit of chatter and some lines on the face. By the way, this right here is not a line. That's on the plastic. I polished the hell out of it, but I just couldn't get it to come out. So I just want to make sure you don't think that that's the line, but you see a little bit of scuffiness right there. But the luster is exactly how they should be. Barber halves, you know, when you're picking these things out from the wild, make sure that the luster should always be the first thing you're trying to pick up. If the luster's diminished, the coin either has putty or the coin was lightly wiped or something's wrong, because those flow marks, those flow lines are so important and they get destroyed. Anyway, $1,100 on this coin, a non-CAC, I think. Oh no, I think it was CAC. Sold for $968 in April of 23. Market's certainly stronger than that now, and this is a good one for your typeset. All right, next up, a couple of Morgan dollars. This one, a over CC and 65. This coin, I would say, is 65B coin. This is not supremely high end. It's not a 6 ever in a million years, but it's a 65B, deserves the CAC sticker. Old label holder. It's not the 2-part, but it is an older holder. The plastic, by the way, is perfect as far as the chips or whatever. Probably should have polished this a little more. This is on the slab. This right here is on the slab. I just want to make you aware of that. Coin is antique white, maybe just a little bit of toning. But I mean, really, this would be considered a white coin, but there's just a tiny little bit of mellowing, I would say, from the whiteness. Coin has great frost. Reverse is much higher end than the obverse. This is obverse limited, all day, every day. I sold a non-CAC about a year ago over CC in an old green label holder. I sold it wholesale for $2,200. This coin is much nicer, and this one is $3,300. If you look up APRs, you'll see that this is right in line with what you would get at auction. All right, next up is another type coin. This one, a 21. Normally, I don't think I can remember the last time I offered a 21 Morgan in a commander's list. Most of the time, they don't look very nice. This one is quite lovely. Only complaint is there's like a little bit, this is probably a little water. Somebody didn't quite rinse it off well enough. So there's that. The coin is $1,250, 66 pluses, which this is definitely 66 plus type coin. They go for $1,500 to $1,980 with multiple records. And then there's really no equivalent APRs out there, which is strange for a 21. There was a toned one that sold for $750 not too long ago. $1,250. And then one more dollar. But we're changing the metal. This one, another type coin, 1889 in 66 CAC. 1889 is the last issue, and for the gold dollar series, and it's very available, even though it's got a relatively small mintage. This coin has great color. Pricing it at $2,100. I just bought it for $1,900 at A&A, which was $100 over gray sheet. I think it's at CPG or maybe a little bit under. I don't remember. Anyway, it should be priced along with what comps are, and this coin is choice. Definitely choice. Not a 7, but choice. Oh, boy, I skipped a coin. Dang it. We're going back. 1935S. Just got this coin back from CAC as well. Really nice look. Very choice for a 64. Look how clean the right obverse field is. Look how nice the axis is. I always talk about this. Always look at this axis right along here. Very little dulling on that at all. Very clean field. Very clean sun and left obverse field. This coin could easily 65. That's why I paid up for it when I bought it without a CAC sticker. I think I must have been remembering or hoping this was for a gold. But anyway, I did not get a gold. APRs have been in the $1,550 to $1,500 range in 2022. I'm asking $1,450 for this coin. If you're a Walker guy, you know this is a tough later estimate. Okay, sorry to go backwards there. We got one more coin. This one, a big hunk of gold to end up. An 1880 Carson City in AU50 CAC. Very choice. This coin could easily 53. Old green label holder. Nice eye appeal too. Like this coin really faces up well. Reverse has tons of luster because there's more protected areas, of course. I'm asking $7,750 for this coin. You can look up APRs as well. There's really nothing out there. There was a 53 Fairmont CAC that sold in 2024 for 8,400. I kind of like this coin better, honestly. It's not euro. If you don't know what euro is, you should definitely look that up. I can talk about it in a future episode. And then the only one out on the market right now is a 58 CAC, and it's going for 17, I think. There was like a $15,000 plus record APR in 58 CAC. This is one of those coins that somewhat available in this grade range. Once you get to 58 and to mint state, almost non-existent. I would say, boy, I might be off because I haven't handled a ton of CCs lately, but I'd say 80 CC is kind of like middle of the pack to slightly easier in the 1880 decade CCs. But most of the time they don't come like this. This coin still has semi-PL surfaces. It faces up so nice for a 50, easily a 53, 7,750 bucks. You'll never get tired of pulling this one out of your box of 20. Or your CC set, especially if you're going for an XF low AU set. This would be a perfect fit. All right, folks, thanks for tuning in. If you haven't ever seen this channel, please subscribe, especially if you like the commentary and if you like the coins. I come at this every Thursday, 9 a.m. Pacific, week after week. Rain, snow, sunshine, hurricanes. I'm here doing it, unless I get hit by a bus, God forbid. So, till next week, happy hunting.